Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Welcome to this episode of Lessons from the Cockpit. Every week we go live right here on Tuesdays, giving you tactical and practical information you need to run a successful virtual assistant business. So today we're going to talk about the details that show people that you're in business for real, because I know that you've seen these details not taken care of in other people's businesses, right? They look like a little bit like they're being held together with like string and glue, right? Or they're writing things on the back of envelopes. So we want to make sure that because you are in business for real, because you are taking this seriously, that the little hints that that tip off places where you might be not paying attention to details get handled. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me know where you're coming in from. I can see some of you joining me. Here's Tori. Hello, Tori. Hello, Nija. Hello from Charlotte. I probably just killed your name, but welcome from Charlotte, North Carolina. That's awesome. It's good to have you here. So come on in, get cozy, and we're going to talk about the details that matter in your business and make sure that you're not overlooking them. The really good news is they're really easy to handle. They're really easy to handle. Hello, Debbie. Hello, hello, hello. Super easy. And yeah, I can't wait to get started telling you all about them. So before I jump into that, a couple of details. One is I want to tell you that I'm the founder of the Virtual Assistant Connection. Now we are streaming across all different platforms here. We are on LinkedIn and Twitter, and we are on YouTube and all over Facebook. So if you don't know about my free online classroom, it's called the Virtual Assistant Connection. Come on over to Facebook and type the Virtual Assistant Connection in the search bar, and I will be happy to let you in. And at the Virtual Assistant Connection, we help new and established and aspiring virtual assistants get their business off the ground with the skills that they already have. And we do this through our free online community, our courses, and our coaching program. So check it out, okay? Hello, we've got hello. Heather says, good morning from sunny Florida. And Mary's here from Texas. Hey, Mary. Awesome. Now we're going to talk about all these things, but first what I want to do is I want to introduce myself while you guys are coming in and getting all settled in your seats. Okay. So this is me and my little delicious daughter. And this was 10 years ago because my virtual assistant business just turned 12 years old, believe it or not. And we're going to have a celebration. I'm working on that. So this is us 10 years ago. And this was a really big turning point for me in my life. There was a lot going on, a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of despair, I guess is the right word. My confidence had been bashed. I was in a really crazy place, definitely not where I thought I was going to be as I was approaching 50. I was 49 at the time. And, I was a newly single mom, and that has a lot of adjustments that go with it. I didn't have a job. I had a ton of debt. I hadn't been able to pay the mortgage for over a year. I had credit card debt all over the place. And it wasn't the fun kind of credit card debt like we went to Disney World and now we're going to figure out how to pay for it. It was like for medical bills and tires, which I hate buying tires, and things like that you need. And but it doesn't seem like it's getting you to the next place where you want to be. So I was really overwhelmed, uncertain, and everywhere I looked, there was struggle. And that was hard for me because I like things in a box. I like things organized, and for me to just have this, think of this big smeary mess called my life was a little overwhelming. But I knew that I wanted to have a lifestyle where I could be with Emily. I wanted to be able to be there for those everyday important things like Girl Scouts and ballet lessons. And, I wanted to be available for her. And all the jobs that I'd had in the past, I had some great jobs. I had some great bosses, managers, mentors, so it wasn't that I was having a bad experience in corporate. It was an experience that was going to cause me to miss out on pretty much Emily's whole life, right? Because I would, bring her to school early in the morning, go to work. Someone would pick her up or she'd stay an extended day. And then I would probably get home around 6 o'clock, maybe 7, depending on what was going on, because those are the kinds of jobs that I had. And, for kids, they're in bed at 9. So that's a pretty short day for parenting. And so I needed to figure it out. So I ended up deciding that I was going to do admin work. I had done admin work in the past. I'd been a secretary back in the dark ages. So I just started telling everybody that I knew. I wasn't clear on how to talk about it, and all the things that I teach you guys now, I had no idea. I was just, winding my way through. And so one day at the school bus stop, I said to one of the dads, he said, "What's new?" And I said, "Oh, I started this business. I'm going to help people with admin work." And I'm thinking, I'm just making small talk here. And he says, "Oh my gosh, I just started a business." And he was drowning in administrative details and I had no idea. So we started working together. Then I met someone else at a wedding in the buffet line. We started talking. He hired me. So it wasn't all like with the buffet line. It took me connecting with him on LinkedIn and then him reaching out to me later on. But, for all of you who are looking for clients on Facebook and, these scammy places on the internet, you can just stop doing that and come on over to the VA Connection, and I'll show you how to get clients in a way that doesn't involve any of that. In fact, coming up soon, I'll talk about it more at the end. We're going to have our 5-day VA Client Kickstart Challenge. So if you want to know how to start your business from scratch, we're going to start that on September 12th. Okay, so come on over and I'd love to have you there. All right, so that's where I was. So the business started to take off, and I can see this slide I need to change already. I've been in business for 12 years, and every year, the business has become more and more solid. I've become more and more confident, and my anniversary was just last week. I've worked with over 225 clients. And here's the big thing, guys. I've made over $1 million, like seriously $1 million. And the overhead for VA work is very low. So over the course of that time, I was able to support myself and my daughter. She's big into horseback riding and, turn the debt around and, get my life back into a place where it's comfortable, And now we're going to fast forward again. So here we are. This was last summer. Greg and I got married. These are our kids, David, Charlie, Emily, Stephen, and Andy. And so, life is different now. It's really different. And I really believe at the core of it was that I decided to become self-reliant. I decided to get myself off the hamster wheel. I decided that I wanted to be in charge of how much money I made and who I worked with, and not be reliant on corporate. Because there's not a lot of job security out there these days. Greg and I, we were just talking about that yesterday. There's just not a lot of that out there. And I wanted to be there for Emily. And so now here we are on the other side, and I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like I can breathe. So let's say hi to some other people who are here. So we've got Donna. Good morning from South Jersey. And Lynn just joined us. She's here. She's here as well. She's from Canada. So that's exciting. Okay, so let's jump into the details that matter. Okay, now you really want to you want to look around your business life, and you want to take a sharp eye and say, okay, what is the impression that I'm giving about my business with all of the pieces that people are looking at? So we're going to talk about business card, email address, all of those things, and some of your businesses will be a little bit different. So we're gonna focus on the core, but I want you to think about some of the details, or all of the details. Actually, I'd like you to go through your day thinking, okay, I'm about to send this, I'm about to send that. How does that reflect? How does that reflect on me? So put in the chat some of the details that you think that matter in business when you're a virtual assistant. So these are things that are separate from the actual work. So drop them in. So the first thing I want to talk about is your email, okay? Your email address. Now, nothing says I'm not in business for real like an AOL email address, okay? or Hotmail or Yahoo. And I know some of you have them, and that's okay, but I want you to think about naming your business, and I want you to register your URL. It's your link, your domain, and you can do this very affordably at a lot of places. So also at many, it's called an internet service provider, ISP. That's where you'll do that, like Namecheap or HostGator or DreamHost or GoDaddy. There's a jillion of them out there. Okay, SiteGround. You're going to register your URL and you're going to set up your email. You can do that for free, or you can do that using Microsoft 365, which is cloud-based email, or Google Workspace, which is paid Gmail, which essentially lets you use your domain. Mine, in my case, Rocket Girl Solutions, lets you use your domain in your email address. Now I'm going to enlarge this so you can see it better. Okay, so here's the first thing. So I'm using rocketgirlsolutions.com. Now I want you to notice, this is from before I got married. I took this screenshot, but I want you to notice that my from line says Belinda Wasser, and then there's a space, and then this vertical line is sort of a hidden thing on the keyboard. It's found on the keyboard right above enter on the right hand side. All right, and then the business name, Rocket Girl Solutions. So when a lot of you are just starting out, I see that in the from line, it's the name of your business. Your people don't know who that is, right? Your people don't know who that is. So you want to make sure you lead with your name and then your business, okay? And you want to do this the whole time you're in business. And some of you also have email addresses like info@yourbusiness. People will have no idea who you are. I have received emails like that. And because I had a feeling I knew this person, I would have to scroll down and maybe even click on something to figure out who it's from. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Do this instead. The other thing, and this is kind of old-fashioned, but there's a lot of old-fashioned people like me out there, and that is in your email signature, put your phone number. Put your phone number. People want to be able to call you, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, all right? And one of the things that I teach everyone to do when they start their business is put your clients in your phone, so when they call you, you can see it's them, and that way you know to answer it, okay? So absolutely. You'll see here in my email signature is my Rocket Girl logo, my name, my location, which that's completely, you don't have to do that. You can if you want. But those are the important things, okay? So any comments about email signatures? I'd love to hear, like, who's doing this. Really important, okay? Really important. Okay, good. Good. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is business cards. I'm just going to grab mine here. So this is my business card. Now, you want a nice business card. Business cards are not expensive these days, okay? I remember back when I had my last job in 2001, to have a business card was a really big deal because the company had to spend like $200 or $300. Remember, you get the long box, right? It was all packed with your business card. You don't have to do that anymore. You can get a really nice business card at moo.com, MOO.com. You can get 50 cards for like $20. Okay. So that'll take you, a while to give out, and it leaves a really great impression. So here you can see it's got my logo, my name. It looks just like my email signature. That's on purpose. When somebody sees my logo and my name, I want them to think Rocket Girl. I want them to think virtual assistant, right? And then on the back, I've got my phone number, my contact information, my URL, my email address, to make it super, super simple. A lot of you have put what you learned at the Kickstart Challenge on your business card. I'm a virtual assistant I work with, right? 1, 2, 3. That's really good to do too. Okay. So a business card. I had mine professionally designed by my graphics guy, Mark Tatro. And I've been using the same card for probably 10 years. I've moved a bunch of times. I just ask him to update the address. A lot of you guys are talented enough to do this yourself. That is not an area where I have competence. So Mark handles that, and then I order them. Now, let me tell you something else. When you meet with a prospective client, if you're doing the in-person thing, which some of us are, doing networking, and you give them this card, every single time I hand this card out, people say, "Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's really nice." can you help me with mine? And I say, you bet, because Mark's on my team, right? Mark has created all of these beautiful business cards for my clients and many, many more. And what happens is um, he creates them. I upload it to Moo. My clients say, can you just handle it? You bet. Upload it to Moo. And then every time they need business cards, they ask me to reorder. And then what I'll do from time to time, Moo has a sale twice a year. I'll forward the email to my clients and say, would you like me to order new business cards? They're on sale. Do you know how much they love that? It's so simple, guys. It's so simple, but they're like, wow, she's thinking of me. And then I, have their credit card. I order their cards. So little simple, nice things that you do for your own business and for your clients will pay off, because yes, maybe it's only 30 minutes to order the cards or 15 minutes, but it's still, you're working with them, you're being helpful, and you're getting a result for them, which is to not run out of business cards. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Now I want to talk about LinkedIn. Okay. So I'm going to make fun of my brothers for a little bit. All right. But they know I'm doing this and they have fixed it. This slide is really old, but it illustrates so perfectly what not to do on LinkedIn that I have to keep it. Okay. So again, I'm gonna go like this. All right. So this is I have identical twin brothers. Okay. They're younger than me, a couple years younger, Tim and Tom. And so you can see here, my brother Tim, I don't know how much you can see it, but his chin is cut off. This is a woman right here. Over here is a guy's face, and this is like complete train wreck. In addition, LinkedIn has changed the format. I know it's hard to see, but this is how big the picture should be. But because his LinkedIn is so out of date, he's this little tiny square in the middle. Okay, so you don't want to do that. All right, and then you click here. Oops, sorry. Click here. And here's my brother, Tom. All right. So he's a little bit more buttoned up, right? So Tom's got the power pose going. He's got a professional headshot. He's chosen to say Thomas instead of, Tom, which is fine. A couple of other things you'll notice here is they each have 500 connections plus. That's a really good thing to do because it shows people that you're kind of a player. So you want to work on that, that you're in the game. So definitely, spend some time doing that. So now let's look at, this is mine. Okay. And this again is before I got married, but I have my maiden name in brackets. You can do that. I think it's called previous name or something like that, prior name, or other name. When you set up your profile, you can go into the settings and change that. So what it says now is Belinda, and then my maiden name, Grosskopf, and then Sandor. So you want to make it easy for people to find you. Now here, it says instead of a president or some other generic title, you want to put virtual assistant. And again, this is an old profile of mine. It says something different, but you definitely want it to say virtual assistant, working with entrepreneurs and solo professionals, or if you've decided to have a niche because you have plenty of contacts in that genre, you can do that. I would also recommend that you make sure your contact information is up to date. Click on this button right here. And I'll tell you what, so many times I click on that button when I'm helping a client with their LinkedIn and they say, oh, I don't even have that email anymore. Oh, that website's really old. Oh, and all of these things. And this is like one of the most public places on the planet where people can check you out. So make sure that your contact information is up to date. Make sure that your name is right. Make sure that you have a professional headshot. It doesn't have to be professional like in a photo shoot, but you'll notice, you can see the difference here between, Tim and me and my other brother, Tom. So have something, a nice neutral background, and, a nice smile. And I recommend that you use the same headshot across all your platforms so that people, they recognize you right away and they're not like, oh, she has red hair now and now she has green hair, or whatever it is, your different fashion looks, which is fine, but make sure that you look like the same person, because I have seen social media profiles where the person looks like they're 23 on Facebook, and on LinkedIn they look like they're 33, and then somewhere else on their website they look like they're 50. So age appropriately. It's okay to age, it's okay, and it will help you look more professional. Okay. All right, so that's LinkedIn. I'm going to talk about some details on websites. Okay, so your website is important. There is a solution that I've come up with. It's called Website in a Box for virtual assistants. So if you're interested in that, that's something we're going to have an info session on that coming up soon. But I do have a way, and you can send me an email if you're interested, Belinda@thevaconnection.com. I do have a way for virtual assistants to have a WordPress website in a relatively short amount of time. And this, I want to, so, but let me point out the key elements here. Okay. So this is a website that I designed. I was a project manager with my guys, Mark, who's a graphic designer, and Barry, who's a genius at developing websites. So you'll see some of the key elements here, right? So her logo, she's got her tagline right here, a great picture, a testimonial on the homepage, clear description of what she does, her contact information. You can see it's easy to subscribe to her newsletter. And you also notice here, she only has LinkedIn right up here. It's hard to see with this banner, but LinkedIn is here and not all of the social media icons. And that's because you don't want to have links to social media platforms that you are not taking care of. You don't want it to look like a ghost town in there. Okay. So if you are active on LinkedIn, or your LinkedIn, is up to date, that's the most important thing. Absolutely, put the icon, but don't put Pinterest and all that, YouTube, if you don't have anything going on there, because it'll do the absolute opposite. It won't make you look super cool. It'll make you look like you don't know what you're doing. So that's why we're talking about, these little tips. So let's see, let's get rid of this. Okay. So here's the LinkedIn right here. Here's the subscribe button right here in the middle. This is, it says learn more about what we do. This goes right to her services page. And this is the contact us. So this is a woman who's been a client for a really long time. Okay. So those are some of the key elements. Put a testimonial right on the homepage. Why not? Right? Why not? Okay. Back. All right. So let's talk about some other things. All right. Other hints that tell people you're in business for real. One of the things that I think is important is your voicemail. What does your voicemail say? People will call you, and I know, like my daughter, she's 21. She really hardly ever talks on the phone. I understand that a lot of you may not talk on the phone and you live your life in text, but everyone doesn't, and clients might not. So if they call you, you want to have a nice message. You don't have to say your business name, or you can, but what you don't want is, that automated robotic voice saying, you have reached the voicemail for 617. Every time I get that, I think, is this the right person? What if I don't have the number right? Are they going to get the message? So you absolutely want to say, you've reached the voicemail for Belinda Sandor. Please leave a message at the tone and I'll call you back. That's all you have to leave. Make it short, make it to the point. There's some people I've called and they go into the whole thing about their business and award winning. And it's like, I just want to leave a message. Okay. All right. Headshot. We talked about that a minute ago. You want a nice looking headshot. Make sure there's nothing sticking out of the back of your head like a tree, which sounds silly, but I can't tell you how many trees and posts I've edited out of people's headshots. So look around you, something nice and simple. If you don't have great lighting in your house, which I don't, go outside, drop it in Canva, blur the background. It'll be fabulous. Okay. It will be fabulous. And you can the phones these days have really good cameras. So you can take a picture with your phone and it'll be great. It'll be great. Consistent branding. We mentioned that as well, where if someone goes to my LinkedIn or my Facebook or, all the other places, it looks like me, the headshot is within a couple of years. And the colors are consistent. The fonts are consistent. That goes a long way for showing people that you're thoughtful, that you're detail oriented, that your branding is the same throughout. Now, here's a couple of tips that are on what I would call the softer side. So one of them is, how long does it take you to email someone back? Now, I know that a lot of you, and we're going to talk about this in a second, the second someone emails you, you have the desire to email them right back. Well, what you're doing is, and I'm going to just go right to the next, right to the next slide, is you're training them that you're going to answer them within 30 seconds of their email arriving. Okay. And you don't want to do that, because that is really hard to maintain, that speed, especially when you have 5 clients or 10 clients or 20 clients, because they're all going to expect that. So the flip side of answering them right away is not waiting 2 days, but waiting an hour or 2 hours, or making sure everybody's answered by the end of the day. Sometimes I'll even reply to an email and say, thank you for sending this. I'll look at it before the end of the day. So if I can't take the time to read it, but I want them to know that I got it, within an hour or so, I'll just hit reply and say, thanks, I'll check this out later today and get back to you if I have any questions. All right. So simple, acknowledges them. They know that I've received it, because clients can get nervous about that. Did she get it? Did she see it? Did it get lost in her email? And so this is one of those details that shows people that I'm in business for real, that I'm really caring. Okay. So here's the thing about keeping boundaries clear. You want to do it for a couple of reasons. One is that, like I just said, you can't sustain these breakneck, turnaround times all the time. It's not sustainable. So, and you don't want to give the impression you have nothing else to do. And that might sound kind of funny, but there's a balance. It's like when you make a dentist appointment, you wait till the next available appointment. And maybe that's a bad example, because most of my client work, they want me to do it within a day or two, which is fine. And that's a nice pace. You want to work at a pace that you can sustain, that's thoughtful, and is in service, right? So, so that's really a balance. It's really a balance. So give that some thought. All right. Really, what impression are you giving every time a client gets touched? Every time a client gets touched by calling me, by getting an email from me, by getting a receipt from Stripe. The receipt that clients get from Stripe is in my colors. It has my logo. It's very clear. It's from me. And think about that. Think about that. I want to talk, we just have a minute left, but I want to talk about your setup as well. Okay. Because your setup matters too. You want to make sure that you're not struggling and you have the tools that you need, because that also will reduce your stress, and your clients will feel that. They'll feel that confidence that you have what you need. So the first thing is that I have 3 screens, and that's why I'm looking all over the place sometimes. And having 3 screens is really great. Having 2 screens is awesome. Just be prepared. Once you have 2 or 3 screens, you're never going to go back. It's such a great thing. The other thing is, you want a computer that you can count on. I work on a desktop, mostly because I do the majority, like 99.999% of my work at my desk. And I like it that way. I'm more comfortable, and a desktop is less expensive. Now, for the times when I'm on the road, I have a mobile hotspot. I think I have it right here. Yeah, I have an updated one from this picture. It's a mobile hotspot, and I get high-speed internet anywhere I am. So this is good if you're an on-the-go person, to make sure that you have internet. Now, when the power goes out, I use this too. So I always keep my laptop charged up, and if the power goes out, which sometimes it does, I have this as a backup for internet, which is great. If you're on the move, you want to have a good laptop. You want to have a desk that can hold your work. For years I worked on dining room tables because from IKEA, because they're deep, and I have enough room for my screens and all my work and all everything that I need, so I can kind of spread out. So think about your desk, how comfortable it is. Think about your chair. This is a Herman Miller chair. It was very expensive. I bought it 20 years ago. I'm still using it. I have back issues when I don't take care of my back that flare up. So this is an important part to me, but make sure you pay attention to what you're sitting on. All right. It doesn't have to be a designer chair, but make sure that it's supporting you and your posture, and that you can sit there for a long time. Also, you need a phone and some earbuds. You know, I use the corded earbuds that came with my phone. I'm perfectly happy with those. I've been using them forever. Some people like headsets, but you do need to be hands-free when you're on the phone, because clients, you're going to need to be writing things down, and you don't want to struggle with that. Okay. And you need a fast internet connection. In fact, we have Wi-Fi in our home, but I have a corded connection. So I have an Ethernet cable that goes from the router to my computer so that I have maximum bandwidth all the time. You don't need to do that, but I'm on video a lot, like I am right now with you, and I want to make sure that that's smooth and clear. And it's a very affordable way, a cable, to make sure that happens. Okay, guys, so a lot of information. So make sure you're thinking about this. And you don't have to go and fix everything in 10 seconds. But when you send an email, notice, okay, what does my email signature look like? Maybe I'll start with that. Okay, now I'm going to do this other thing. What does that look like? And it's time to update my card. How can I do that? All right, so don't make it some big, overwhelming, giant project. You can always make a list. I'm a big 3x5 card person. Make a list of things to upgrade in my business, and then just work your way down the list. Okay, good. Now, before we go, I just want to make sure you all know about the next upcoming VA Client Kickstart Challenge. We're going to be starting on September 12th. And in the 5 days, I am going to teach you how to have a steady stream of clients in your business. If your business is starting from scratch, I've got you. If you've been in business for a while and you're just not getting traction, or you want to, to go next level with your business, I can help you. I promise. I've helped people who barely knew what a VA was when we started, and I've helped people who've been in business for 11 years. So somewhere along, all of those things is where you are, and I can help you. So we're going to talk about the services you offer. We're going to talk about how to talk about your work, which is huge. We're going to talk about where clients are hanging out and how to, be in front of them so that they can reach out to you. We're going to talk about all of the systems that you need to run your business. And on Thursday, I'm opening doors to my signature course, VA School. So if you're ready to come work with me and get your business off the ground, you can sign up on Thursday, okay? Friday, we'll have Q&A, and it's a lot of fun. We have prizes, we have drawings, we have bonus sessions, we have all kinds of stuff, and I'd love to have you. So put it on your calendar, put a reminder on your phone, and join me starting September 12th at noon Eastern, all week long. Okay, guys? All right, have a fabulous rest of your week. We have the Rocket Girl Show coming up on Thursday, all about informational interviews, so be sure to check that out. And for all my VA School students and the VIP Club, we've got things scheduled as well. So I'll see you soon. Bye for now.